Hey, this is Brett the Hitman Hart, and I got a very special shout out for my longtime fan, Guersan. You are the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be.
Hello, guys! It's me, Guersan, with my buddy Brian and Casey Platinum from the Facebook, and actually from the community, I should say, not just Facebook. So we're all here for our podcast. That's kind of way overdue that we haven't done a podcast.
Papacast. Right. It's the Papacast.
The Papacast.
I believe we're up to episode 6 or 7. I'm not.
You don't want to rename it the G-Spot?
Definitely not. All right. So we want to welcome our special guest, Casey, coming all the way to us from South Korea?
Yes.
Yeah.
So first of all, Casey, just recently learned that you are a member of the U.S. Armed Forces. So I do want to thank you for your service. You know, it's definitely something I respect and appreciate. Something I personally can't do because of my physical limitations, but I respect everybody who does do that. Yeah. So thank you. You know, not every day you get to talk to a military person and thank them for their service.
I'm not American, but I can appreciate what America does for the rest of the world.
So let's clear the air. There's a lot of people who think Casey and I have animosity towards each other. And the truth is, we're adults. You know, we know how to have a debate. And it's really the community that spins things out of control. So to clear things up, I have nothing against Casey personally. And I'll let Casey say his piece after I finish. We did have an issue, what was it, a year and a half ago?
Yeah,
and we cleared that up over a year ago, you know, and you know, we haven't said each other's names since. So we haven't really had to have an issue with each other. Lately, people have been pointing fingers at me saying that I have a problem with Casey, and it's just not true. There are a few things that Casey does that he tries to provide info to the community, which is great. Like, we want info provided to the community. And there's just certain things that I personally think that Casey should be doing in a certain way, and that's something I can either discuss with him here if he likes, or in a private matter, because again, this is not a fight. This is not me picking on him, and this is not him picking on me. So, Casey, you want to speak to any animosity you and I may or may not have towards each other? Just get that out in the air.
Well, so like honestly, it's been like so long ago. I was on y'all's like Facebook or whatever else and whatnot, and then not really. I don't have any animosity period like towards you after like building my Facebook. Like I'm a fan of both you guys. Like Guersan's been helping me here on the side. Y'all both like serve the community and like do good work, and I appreciate that. I know everyone here appreciates that. Right. I think like if we started working together a lot more, it would like help improve like the direction I'm going, the direction y'all are going, or whatever else. And I'm just here to like, you know, honestly, like I'm here to like just make sure everything's good. And like I have nothing against you. It's been so long, like I've already forgot everything.
I don't even remember what the issue was, honestly, at this point. So
yeah, I think it's like some of the people who are within the community who like create the issues, and I like at most costs I try to like avoid those issues and like just try to like stay clear of like negativity as much as possible. People like I give them a little bit of free reign of here and there for like freedom of speech, but once they get like to a certain point, I cut them off. I delete the post or whatever else. And, you know, I send them a personal message. Hey, you know, if it's something like hate crime, race crime, or something that they're trying to like go towards, I completely cut it off. But like, yeah, if they want to say something sucks, let them say it sucks. They're just losing their advantage of a video that I will just post. If they don't like it, they don't have to watch it, and they just
I definitely agree with that.
Have the character, and then it may not be as detailed as what other people give.
Yeah, and as far as everyone that follows me, you guys know I just love everyone. I don't hate everyone. I even answers the people that actually hates me. So I rarely have any issues with anyone. I speak with Casey regularly. We've had a bunch of chat, even more in the last 2 weeks or so. And so, I mean, like Brian, there's some things that I like done a certain way. But again, that's how I like things done. It's like I do my content the way I like. Brian does or did his content like he likes.
It's
and Casey does this content like he likes, and so does every freaking. I mean, the whole point of having multiple people do stuff is that we don't do stuff the same way anyway.
well, if everybody did everything the same, there'd be no point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
It's like you imagine if every time you went to the movies, you saw the same movie.
like Casey touched on. I mean, a big part of what happened is because it was blown out of proportion, and mainly because, well, I don't want to say haters, but there's some people in every of our personal small communities within our own channels that hate other channels. Like on Casey's one, for example, when I tried to explain what Joe posted, I'm the one that got shit on for explaining what someone else was trying to mean when I wasn't even talking about my opinion. And on Brian's side, there's some people that were not happy about what Casey's posted. I mean, that's probably the main reason you guys even have 2 Facebook groups.
Well, I just want to think this was. I'm only a moderator on that page. It's not my page. I just help the people who are in charge of it. It's not my page. I'm just a moderator.
I mean, there's some people that are biased toward others, and I mean, it's like that in Champions. It's like that in freaking everything. So it's always going to get blown up by those people. Like they're just like you go on Reddit, and it's basically everyone hates Grim over there. So
oh yeah, no, we're like,
and usually me as well.
I stay clear of Reddit, like it's nothing.
Yeah, I try.
I go on Reddit to read only. I purposely don't have an account so that I can't post. If I was able to respond in there, I would probably get kicked off in a day because some of the things you read in there are so.
Well, it's a lot. There's a lot of personal
nerve-wracking
attacks over there.
And it's like, what's the point?
So every platform is like that. There's going to be like 98% of regular human beings and 2% of total assholes. And it's like that in everything.
Well, I mean, you've seen the Facebook posts or the Twitter posts from the Champions account. Anytime they post something there, not a single, like, you'll almost never see okay, thanks for the info, or, nothing nice. It's always like, well, how about this and how about that? And, fuck you guys suck. And like, like, come on, man.
Social media.
And then they're like, well, how come you guys never respond? Like, why the hell would I respond if I were like them? Why would I respond if everything you say to me is negative?
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing is like they just like broadcast information out there and just leave it at that, as opposed to like
it's because
they currently don't have
a CM,
a community manager. They did hire one. He doesn't start until March 17th, 18th, something around there. So once that,
and he's going to start that day. I mean, he's going to get used to it as well. I mean, we've had 3 temps, one after the other.
Well.
Yeah, Eric is really hard to replace. It's been one temp after the other since then. I mean, they're doing a good job. They just don't have the time to do like the regular, like they can't go on Reddit. I mean, they have a lot on their plates and they're temps. They're not full on the job also. So and I mean, like you said.
The latest one, his name is JB.
Yeah. He's not anymore.
Well, yeah, I'm saying he's based in Spain, so that's number 1. Number 2, he's also the community manager for what's that main game?
Star Trek. Well, he's
Star
not
Trek.
Star Trek and Road to Survival.
And Walking Dead Road Survivor. So imagine his time is split amongst 3 games. 2 of them are actual higher grossing games than Champions. So obviously they're going to take a lot of his time. So he's splitting his time amongst those 3 games.
I think Champions takes most of his time, but now it's Emily that's in charge of Champions.
Yeah, so now they have someone else named Emily who's handling it, also based in Spain. So the time zone difference is a little hindering. She's working while everybody else is sleeping over here.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard.
I think the next one's the full one's gonna be in Spain too. I think though.
I think he's in Spain also.
Yeah.
So speaking about getting information out to the community, we've noticed that you try to get a lot of information out to the community. And from what I've heard, again, I'm not on your Facebook page. From what I've heard, a lot of the information that you post or you say is coming soon is not always 100% accurate.
It's been a lot better in the last couple of weeks.
I mean, again, I'm not on the page, so I don't know. So, for example, you posted somewhere in October that December was going to be an NWO month.
So
And I saw a screenshot of. That's how I know about this.
So what I do is I gather. It's all speculation at first. So what I do is I gather information from IntelBot.
Okay.
And then I go to the guide and just read the guide, and then I have like written down like events patterns from previous years and whatnot. And then first of all, everything they had just a repeating pattern, and I follow like WWE current events. At the time, WWE had just signed, Hogan and Hall and Nash to a bigger contract, which means in turn that it's a temporary contract, and they're trying to like promote them and whatnot. And I'm a pro wrestler, and I understand the business itself, how they would promote them. The first thing they're going to do is hit the games, hit the T-shirts, because they all want their money in wrestling itself. They want it, like period, point blank.
Well, that makes perfect sense.
So from a trademark issue, the only one who would have the issue, of course, is Hogan, because he owns his own name. Like he would be the only one who has the issue, as opposed to Hall and Nash. They would just instantly just flow into the games as soon as the games could create them.
Well, especially they're already in the system, so they could be released anytime. So
that's where I was just speculating. Maybe my words weren't chosen like 100% correctly and whatnot, but like I've been working with Guersan to make sure from a different point of view that everything sounds like more correct, if you will.
I think the problem is that when the information came out, it wasn't identified as speculation.
Yeah, well, so I've seen you're doing a lot better on that in the past couple of weeks. You do write it pretty clearly when you're guessing and where you're extrapolating instead of doing like you did with the ladies. The upcoming guys that you said are coming soon. Well, not.
I mean,
now you're saying clearly when it's
in Copley terms, it could be soon.
Yeah. Well, so what happened right now? WWE has if you understand this, WWE has a 10-year contract with Saudi Arabia right now.
Yep.
That means from an EO point, equal opportunity point, for every pay-per-view they have without females, they have to have a exact pay-per-view with only females if they're going to exclude females from an EO point. So if you understand that, then somewhere along these lines later this year, there will be an all-women's pay-per-view once again, guaranteed.
Yeah, definitely.
That's how it works in the business. They can't just let them sit, because if they let them sit and they don't do a pay-per-view, they have to pay them regardless if they're at the event or not.
Yep.
And the women's only pay-per-view was so high grossing. I was there.
They did a great job with it.
I was there. The place was packed. There was not an empty seat in the house. It was a great event. There was no reason. There's no reason not to run another one.
Yeah. So if there is another one, they don't have to. What they learned is they don't have to pay them when they're sitting home. They can say, "Hey, you're not scheduled for Saudi Arabia making this amount, but you're scheduled for this pay-per-view with an all-women's pay-per-view once again," and they don't have to like pay them on the side, because what they're doing is they're transforming their contracts. Once they go to Fox, they're pure contracts. So whether they use them or not, they're going to get paid regardless from here on out, guaranteed money.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to start doing it this way, making sure people are following the exact amount of dates and whatnot.
Right. So for those of you who don't understand what that means, is currently they're all on independent contractor contracts, so they get paid as they wrestle, which is why they pay for their own travel and all that stuff. Some wrestlers have different contracts where they get their travel included. Most wrestlers actually pay for their own travel. What Casey is telling you is that when they move over to Fox, and I believe SmackDown is moving to Fox.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. So when they move over to Fox, they're going to have full-time contracts, which they're no longer going to be independent contractors. They may still be responsible for their own travel, depending on the wording on their contract. But
I think right now
whether or not they wrestle,
they even pay for their hotels right now. I think
they do.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah, that's why Mick Foley always sat in the lobby itself and just read the newspaper.
That's nuts. I mean, especially when you consider they spend 2/3 of their life in hotels. That's a lot of expenses.
It's all a tax break.
So when I like make these posts, it's purely like speculation based on those events and how Scopely's like previous patterns have like been going throughout the year, and whatnot. And I don't try to like misinform anyone at all. Like I try to do like accurate info to like prepare them like for the future events. So I'm not telling them go spend all your coins into this guy or go use all your tokens and TP in this guy. I'm just saying, hey, here's the info that could happen, speculation. Prepare yourself because no one ever prepared me in the game itself. Like, oh crap, I have like a 1-star like we'll just say Shamus or something, and I needed him in like 2 or 3 weeks up at like 3-star silver just to make it through the entire tour and whatnot.
Yeah.
Right. No, that makes perfect sense.
Personally, I'm just very happy that you're very clear about the speculating part now from the latest
that's
post you've been doing. Because they're the one that are generating me a lot of work. Like I was getting so many people messaging me, I read this on the Facebook page. Is that true? I'm saying, I don't know. I didn't hear it. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. I didn't hear it. I mean, like the NWA event, it's probably going to be right at some point, but I don't know when.
I mean, even a broken clock is right twice a day, right?
So, like, my whole thing is like I've been telling people, hey, trying to teach them, hey, save up. Some of these events, if you don't have
WrestleMania,
coins, like,
I'm hearing a lot for that.
You used all your like people have been asking me, is it worth the zombie event? If you have all your zombies at like the very bottom level, yeah, it's probably worth it. But if you're someone like who has them at 4-star bronze and 3-star gold already, you're probably not going to go too far in the game, like because you're already like all way there, kind of thing. It just
all my zombies are 3-star silver or higher. So
yeah,
there's no reason for me to do that.
I sure hope that WrestleMania is going to be epic because there is a lot of people that are saving a lot of resources expecting for it to be the second coming of the Christ.
Well,
I mean, if you base it on last year's WrestleMania event was just a collection event.
I can't even remember what it was.
It was the one for Trickster Taker. It was just a collection event.
Yeah.
It wasn't like this epic, event.
But I get so many messages about WrestleMania.
It was the first. It was the first
nuts.
time. It was the first time where they had the tours that came out with the required players.
The expectations are through the roof this year.
So here's what people can do though if they're saving up the money, and it's not like a spend event. It's not like a TP event or whatever else. At least they have the resources to get those guys up now, and they're prepared. Like,
ultimately, it's not lost.
Yeah,
you just have it for the next one.
Yeah.
Well, like I know a lot of people who said, "Oh, I skipped this month because it's not worth it for Harper." Well, not Harper. Rowan. Harper was a mega. Rowan's a pretty good character,
and they made it not so hard to get. I mean, tier 4 to get him, I didn't see that coming. I would have. Well, I saw once I checked, but I wouldn't expect them to give the guy so far from the end of the vault. I mean, that was
honestly,
pretty
I was
awesome.
skipping the event because I didn't have any resources, so I was skipping the event this month. And when I saw, once the Greg Valentine event came out, and I pulled him at 4-star bronze, and I saw how close I was like, you know what? If I could do this, and I skipped 3 coin events and 3 TP events, and I was still able to clear the vault.
I skipped 4 of them, and I'm like 600,000 over the vault.
Yeah.
So, and I think you were able to do more tours than me.
Yeah, probably. I could do them all. It's actually the first event I could do them all. I couldn't do some of the L modes for the shitty characters, but I had all the characters overall. That's the first time I had
all the characters. I just couldn't do Corbin or Rude because they're not leveled.
Yeah, well, I had the same issue.
And I'm not like I decided I'm no longer leveling characters to use them once.
Yeah, I still do it.
So like I guess like one of my posts that people were like yelling about is when I post about like MDM and IRS possibly like this year as an expectation. So if you look at, we'll take the zombies for example. Last year they did the spring zombies around right about this time. They started pushing the zombies for like a week, possibly like 2 weeks.
It was a weekend. It was a weekend, and it was I don't remember exactly when, but it was a weekend. They did a spring outbreak. It was just a limited time tour though, and having them as megas. That's all it was.
Yeah, and they do it based on like spring break kind of like theme, if you want to call
Makes
it
sense.
That. So last year, I want to say they did the Ted DiBiase, I think like Spin Cash or something like that.
Tax season.
Yeah, so it's taxes. April 13th is tax day, if you will. So you could expect something possibly similar with MDM and IRS or something different, but using those characters. It makes sense because they're following the patterns of what they did last year, if you will.
Yeah. They just switched what the event is, but they still reuse similar dates.
This year, it's a lot more intense. Like the zombie outbreak is a lot more intense than it was last year.
Yeah, some of the ones we've had in previous year might actually not happen due to the fact that there's almost always a month-long event. It's like people that ask why don't they do like a tour or something for Fastlane? You know, it's because it's a really minor pay-per-view and they only stick to the main ones nowadays. And there's always like a month-long event and they're back to back to back. So there's less of the small tours or smaller event that we used to have. Due to the big picture,
they've actually been really good at keeping their mouths closed about what's going on. Like we didn't find out about this zombie event until early this morning.
Well, I actually did yesterday, but I was not allowed to say anything about it.
Well, it was yesterday. She told us, yes. So she told us about this event yesterday. She's like, please don't tell anybody though. So like, there are times where we know about events a day in advance.
But we didn't know much. We knew we didn't know what was going to be in it.
We knew there would be a blitz. We didn't know what the rewards were for the blitz. Like I had no idea that if you did 20 blitz runs,
they never give us any details, or we get general IDs and things like that.
And if we do, like they legitimately, if they give us information in advance, we have to sign NDAs.
Yeah, and I actually told her this morning. I said, "Well, I know I'm not supposed to tell the few things you told me yesterday." But I'm still going to do a video today about what's posted in the Intel bot because everything's freaking out there. By this time, I mean, the info is all there. I mean, I'll obviously specify that it's not official, but it's all there. So I did my video anyway.
Right. But like there was a meeting back in November at Scopely. Unfortunately, two of us weren't able to go because we were stuck at work.
I couldn't leave home due to my upcoming surgery back then.
I just couldn't take off from work. So they had us participate via a phone conference, a telephone conference. They made us sign NDAs before they would give us the links to log in. Like that's how serious they are about them not wanting to get info out. Now, honestly, if I could give you this info to post to your Facebook page, I would gladly would.
Well, most of it is out by now.
Right, but no, I'm saying when I have it. But if I can't even post it to the one I moderate, obviously, I can't share it with you.
Yeah.
So let's get back to the info. So I want to clear the air on this one as well. About a week or two ago, Casey posted on his Facebook page that there was going to be, with dates and everything, that there was going to be a Luke Harper offer 3-star bronze, right?
That didn't stay long.
Right. It didn't stay long. Now,
didn't even have the time to see it myself.
This information was fed to Casey as a troll. And I apologize for that having happened because it's bad enough that when you're trying to help the community, you're getting flack for it, but you shouldn't be given false information to post.
And like I said, I've never tried to do that. I respected him because I knew the guy.
Yeah, we're not. We know who it is, but we're not going to mention.
Okay, so my biggest thing is like y'all are here to help the community. I'm here to help the community. But we're just trying to help them grow and like prepare them like in the future itself, like how to explain how the game works and whatnot. But like I've never tried to like hurt people and like try to like discredit people because I try to avoid drama, if you will, at all costs.
So, what can you say about the fact that people have said, "Well, I know Casey has a contact at Scopely"? Can you verify?
I have no contacts at Scopely. I do not work for Scopely. I do not try to email them. The only thing I have is I have pure templates for players to use if something specific happens in the game, which has successfully got their problem resolved. Like if customer service is like ignoring them or giving them like the runaround for like a week or two or a month, or if they have an in-game issue or someone's just hacked their account and someone's like constantly logging into their account, I have templates I give them, say, hey, just send this exact information to, support, and they will help you. If you need me to help you type it out and whatnot, because your English is not that great, I will sit here, I'll take my time, just give me the information, and I'll feed it back to you and just put it in the description on the website itself.
So it's just one of those rumors that everyone assumed that it's on the internet, so it must be true.
I tell them every day I don't work for Scopely, and
I mean, nobody ever said you worked for Scopely. Let's get that.
I don't know. I don't know anyone who does.
So let me pull something up on my phone, and I'm not again. This is a conversation that I had with somebody, and I took a screenshot of it because I thought it was too funny. All right, the guy said he has contacted Scopely. He's just trying to get out info to the community, and I said, from my conversations with Casey, he has no contacts at Scopely, and his info is just speculation. And often it is correct, but often it is not correct. The problem is that people come back and say that Scopely fucked up and not that Casey might have been wrong. And the guy said, so I would rather get wrong info from Casey than no info from Scopely at all.
So I try not to give them wrong information itself. And if my speculation is wrong, I'll bite the bullet and say, hey, I was wrong. This is the event. But I will sit there and, like I said, I'll try to provide them like guides to help them make it through it. Like I've worked with people on the side here and there. Like if they were behind on an event, how they could speed their event up. Like, hey, you need to probably use coins here, probably use TP here, and get this guy to this exact level. And then just try the level a few different times. Like you're not going to be a level like the first time, most likely, against like a 3-star silver against like Macho. We'll take Papa Chongo, 3-star silver against Macho Man. Like I must have played that level like 20 times just to beat it. Like, and eventually you just get a good board and it just works, if you will, you know.
Oh, you're talking about from the hard mode of was it the Royal Rumble tour?
Yes.
Yeah, my Papa Shango is level 1, so I didn't even try that match.
Yeah, mine too.
And I tell people like right now I'm trying to like explain how like you should like adjust like which characters you want to level during an actual event that you want to get up. If you're going to sit there and level who you want during the event, you're probably not going to make it. If you need like 1 or 2 stars up to like 3-star silver, you need to focus on those guys, but also get like a 3-star silver or sorry, a 4-star bronze up, if you will, during that event, and then slowly level them. People got
these guys just take up so many coins.
Yeah.
It's a marathon though. It's not a sprint. You don't have to do it all at once the first week. You can do all your tours the last day if you want. You're slowly getting them up each week. Hey, you can say, I want to set aside, 200, 300,000 coins every week for this guy. And then at the end, see what I have left and see if I can beat that level eventually. Maybe you do, maybe you don't, And then maybe you don't even need it at the end, but at least you're slowly getting him up in case you did need it.
I'd say the toughest part of our job is probably on getting out the info out, and you guys definitely have it harder than I do, because when I do a video, I can afford to like take a 30 seconds to say, like I did for this video for the zombie event that I did based on the info on the Champions Guide, that I could be very clear that that was not official info and was just from the guide, may change, things like that. Right. I definitely have it easier because I can afford the 10, 20, 30 seconds to do it, which you guys have a much harder time that you can't really post on a disclaimer that long on a 2-sentence post.
Correct, and they're not going to read it. Once they get to a certain point, they're just not going to read it.
Yeah, so it's definitely harder to get that feeling, and I mean, and at the same time, you don't want to have like a template phrase that you put in. This is only speculation. Please, guys, don't take all of this for granted. And then post. I mean, it's,
if you don't,
at that point, it just looks stupid.
But if you don't put that in, people are gonna think it's coming straight from Scopely.
So yeah, that's most of the issue that's been happening.
The biggest thing. So I live here in like South Korea, and there's maybe at least 20 or 30 different people like of different nationalities that I run into every day. You have to understand everybody's like understanding of English and how like Facebook translates when they hit the C translation button is totally different. So you have to like break down your words to very basic English a lot of times. Otherwise, people are like,
they're lost. They're
lost. And that's where I'm trying to like be like cognitive of like their culture and how their English is. That way I'm not like choosing too big of words, because translation is not going to come out as intended at all.
Yeah, that's why I use a lot of swears. They translate in every language.
It's true. Fuck is fuck, no matter what language it is. So, no, I mean, it's unfortunate because like I've had people say, "Oh, I'm saving for NWO next month." And I'm like, "Who said NWO next month?" Like, "Oh, I read it on Casey's Facebook page." I'm like, "Well, I read that in October. That was coming in December." Like, "Oh yeah," and then someone else like, "I've been reading that for 3 months already." I'm like, "Well, we can pretty much guess that if we keep saying it every month, yeah, eventually we're gonna be right. It's next month." But
yesterday I got about 30 messages yesterday asking me about today's 6 talent up. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? I haven't even heard that in rumors. And I checked both of your Facebook page to see if one of you guys posted
what happened.
that.
That was on the troll post. But Casey, the one mistake you made on that is that you never rescinded the post. You deleted it, but you never went back and said, please disregard the previous post because it was a troll.
I think he did. He posted something that somebody posted. I saw something about it when he said that somebody fed you wrong info and something like that. I'm pretty sure.
I'm not on that page, so.
Yeah, I went back and like rescinded that post, and I guess not everyone had seen it still, so that's.
But everybody saw the post, but they didn't see the recension.
Yeah. Well, everything is hard to see. I can't stand Facebook groups. Like it's just
they're horrible.
It's not the people I don't like. I love people there. It's just the way Facebook does that. It's so hard to follow. Facebook decide what it decides to show you, and pretty much like one of the main reason I don't post a lot on those. Well, first I'm doing it on my real name, and second is because I just have a hard time to follow it because basically if I reply to something, it's either because I was tagged and it brought me to it, because Facebook is putting it on the top of my timeline, or because I got messages about it and I want to know what they're talking about before I answer those people. So that's when I'm going to see it. Otherwise, it's just so hard to follow. And there's 3 freaking groups also. So
that's where
there's a third group?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
That's where I started to use announcements and pin to top. So whenever they log on to the page itself, whatever it's like today's topic of like if there's an event going on, how much resources are left or how many resources they could need, that's where we pin it to the top itself and let them know like, hey, this is what's going on for this week and whatnot. That way they actually see it and they don't like skip past it, if you will.
Yeah.
I mean, I could be honest, like these pages are not designed for veteran players. And the only reason veteran players should be on there is to provide info and to provide information to the newer players. It's because like we don't need these pages as veteran players. I don't need to go on Facebook to find the info. I don't need to go if I have a question that I need answered. I don't need to ask it on a Facebook forum. And honestly, like the answers that I'm going to get on a Facebook forum are probably not going to help me. So like I'm sure it's the same on your page, Casey. A lot of the questions are, who should I evolve between this one and this one? Should I bring this one to 4-star bronze or should I bring this one to 4-star bronze? You know, and
I get a lot of those too.
No, I get a lot of them as well too. But those aren't questions that I need to ask. Like I will make my own decision on that, or I would go like honestly, I ask Compy a lot. He's pretty good with that stuff. Or I'll just like, you know, I'll ask Super. He's good with that stuff. Who do you guys think? Or I'll even go
it's a great source of info for like 80% of the player base.
It is, but it's not designed for veterans players. So if veteran players think they're going to go on a Facebook page and get any more info, you're going to get more info. Like the veteran players in the higher factions are going to get more info in their faction discords. That's the truth of it.
Yeah. So, normally, veteran players are going to go there to answer people.
Yeah.
Right.
The biggest thing is that like you like someone and you want to evolve them, like do whatever you want. Make
it's your game. It's your money. It's your cat. It's your.
Even if it's a 1-star, like even if I had a 1-star or a 2-star, I didn't care. Like I evolved them all the way up to the top, only because like it's still something you're eventually going to need that requirement here or there. And if
I have OCD, I can't stand those hollow stars, man.
Yeah, and then now that we have the hollow stars, we can fill them in now. So.
Yeah.
Pays off.
Yeah. Well, let's see how difficult Scopely makes it for us to earn those, though.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I'm not anticipating them being easy to earn.
No, well, they shouldn't either. But at the same time, I don't want to pay $1,000 for a star.
I'm not going to. End of story.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
I don't think you're going to be paying for them. I think you're going to have to earn them like throughout.
I think there's going to be some way to at least
I'm
buy
thinking they're
some
going to be
part
in
of
that
it.
new Versus vault that they're talking about. You know, so again, this is not a spoiler. This is info that's been made public already. The new verse structure where there's going to be 3 sets of verses, or PvP as they call it.
Yeah.
A male, female, and a female. And they're going to have, I believe, where you earn a certain type of verse currency.
Yeah.
And that's going to be, you're going to now have a versus vault. Just like you have the DX vault, you're going to have the versus vault where you get rewards from there.
I'm not sure. They actually didn't say a vault. They said a store. It's going to be a store that you use that currency for.
Oh, so you're going to get to choose then? If it's a
store,
yeah,
you get to choose what you want to buy with the currency. Like you'll have, I don't know, let's say 20 items in there, and you get like 1,000 of that currency. Well, you choose what you buy with that 1,000 within those items. I don't know if they're gonna have. I'm guessing some of them are probably gonna be limited to a certain number of them, but you'll be able to buy whatever you want. At least that's the way I took it from the meeting.
Again, you could be right.
I mean, they could always change it before it's live, but it should be live like this month.
I thought it was like a vault type thing, but and there is going to be a character in there that's only earnable through the vault or through
which we got the NWO red logo, which they could be trolling us with also.
Yeah,
doesn't mean it's NWO Wolfpack. That's what we're going with because that's the picture we got.
Yeah, we assume it's Wolfpack, but they could have just been they could have Googled NWO logo and that's the first one they came up to.
Yeah.
Maybe they're not like true wrestling fans, and maybe they meant the white one.
Right. I'm thinking it's either Six Hall or Nash, to be honest. Yeah. Because there's no other Wolfpack character.
If it's Wolfpack, the only way would be like Sting. Other than that, nobody gives a shit about having a Conan in game. And like and another Lex would look just like this Lex. Wait,
was Scott Steiner Wolfpack?
Yeah. Unless they put him with a shirt to wrestle.
It wouldn't be Steiner. I know for a fact.
No, he's not in.
Yeah, they don't own his trademark.
I know. Trust me, I know. Trust me. If anybody knows about Steiner,
Sting and Hall or whoever, it'd be as easy as changing white to red on the graphics. It takes 2 seconds, and the designer would just have to just do the moves. That's it.
Yeah.
So it's an easy change if they want to. They probably already have it done.
Yeah, they probably. From what we're seeing from the gear so far, and when they release different version of character, they kind of still they modify the model. Also, they do more than just changing the color. The same thing for gear, same thing for different characters. Obviously, some are way more intricate than others, but I mean, I don't expect them just to reskin a color. Or I would expect something different.
I don't think most people understand that it takes probably anywhere from 6 to 8 months, if not longer, to develop a character from scratch. So, I mean, that's at least what Jeff told me.
Well, Jeff said it's about a month or 2, but that's from the moment they actually have the character, the move, the model, everything is just doing the moves and everything. It's like
it's like
but models. I mean, we've seen pictures of guys a year before they were released.
Right.
And some that still haven't been, like guys we previewed at WrestleMania.
Still waiting on
Fandango. Like Fandango and Broken Matt Hardy. Probably never going to see either of those.
Yeah, but like you see at the very bottom of the roster list, they used to have Brutus down there as well, and then they moved Brutus from all the way down there up into the event. Like speculation, speculation, not a spoiler. Like most likely, they would probably just start pulling characters from there and just start moving them up in events of how they have it planned. That would be my guess, but like you never know.
Like the Bludgeon Brothers, when they showed in game, didn't even have started working on the move at that point.
Yeah,
when they showed in game.
If you're gonna ask me to speculate, I would say that for WrestleMania, if you're gonna get one of those characters, it's gonna be Steamboat.
Yeah.
That's because he's like a legend of WrestleMania.
Yeah, it would make sense.
We'll see. It's not going to be easy to get those characters, as you can tell.
Yeah,
just don't be soft. I've taken both paths to like get characters like Elias, and I've taken another path to get Rowan. Like I can tell you now, the smartest way is to try to empty that vault, just like Guersan
Oh yeah,
says. Empty that vault first, and then see what you can get on that very last vault. Because
Yeah.
I kid you not, like one of my last like 5 or 6 pulls was the 3-star silver Rowan. It was horrible.
that's because you didn't empty tier 4 before you got
Yeah.
into tier 5.
Well, so I did that with Elias. I didn't do that with Rowan because I wanted to see how hard or difficult it would be because I'm trying to write up this guide starting tomorrow. So
Yeah. When I saw that he was to that, I was like, there's no fucking way that I'm not doing a 10 pull. I'm going to empty that tier
Yeah.
4 before
That's
I even
exactly
go
what I
on the
did.
tier 5. Because at that point, I wasn't even sure I was going to be able to clear it because I did skip a couple events and I was a dumbass on a couple of them and I didn't check the timers and missed a couple of them.
happens.
So I wasn't sure I was going to be able to complete it. So I said, I'm going to make sure that I empty that shit and I get that Rowan before I go to tier 5 because I don't want to get screwed out.
I really needed him because he's the trainer I needed. I've been waiting for.
Yeah.
who does he train?
Dude Love.
Oh,
I have Dude Love with 4-star silver, so he trains him.
oh, nice.
Mine is still level 1, I think.
He has
You don't know what you're missing, dude.
I'll say he has unbelievable potential at 4-star silver for sure.
Who, Dude Love or?
No, Rowan.
Oh, I only have him at 4-star bronze right now.
Yeah, mine's bronze too. He's not
Well-
max, but I'm working on him.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's barely over 5K.
I just love
I
guys
got
that blow the
him high
board.
enough to beat the victory tour.
Yeah, I just love guys that blow the whole board.
Especially right now, if you use him right now, he has an extra countdown gem. So with Jimmy, he gets 4 countdown gems.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
I'm using him with Jimmy right now. I'm using Jimmy and Lawler.
I was using Jimmy and Harper. Oh, you don't have Harper,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's destructive. The board it self destructs. Like what I love is when I have the blue move, which is the countdown gem move, and the purple move charge at the same time. I'll create my 4 countdown gems, and then I'll destroy 5 blue gems and create 4 more countdown gems. So 2 turns later, my entire board is blast gems.
Yeah, there's people right now that are going instead of running him red blue blue, they're running him purple blue blue. With,
I was running him red, blue,
Woods and Lawler as trainers. That's it.
I was doing red, blue, purple with Jimmy and Rowan and Harper. I mean, no MP trainers. Because the blue move and the red move is so low charge that you don't need the MP trainers.
I love the new way they're doing characters. There's so many ways to run them. It's not anymore like, well, there's always like one that is categorized as the best spec, but there's so many spin you can put on some of these different characters that there's not a straight line of a best spec anymore for many of those guys. And it opened up many other possibilities with coaches and some of the newer trainers.
It's also nice that, like, okay, I could run him this way, but if I would need this trainer for somebody else, I could run him this way.
Yeah. There's more than one ways to run guys.
That's where they've changed the game, if you will, with the coaching, the MP coaches now.
MP coaches changed the game completely. They changed the tier list completely, too.
Yeah. There's some, like, Charlotte is viable now. There's Charlotte Zombie, which she wasn't before.
So what do you think about, like, the blitz and, like, the strategy for Charlotte Zombie? Is it worth it? Is it not worth it?
So here's the thing. If you could complete the tours, you're going to get 17,000 tickets. But you need 20,000 tickets to get Charlotte.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to purchase tickets as well.
I actually need 17 tours because I already got a couple of shards for Charlotte from past pulls. So I only need 17 tour to get Charlotte. And by only, I mean that's a shit lot. Because I don't know if I can actually have that time to finish those 17.
Yeah, pretty quick. But I just finished the tours. Like literally while I was talking to you guys, I was finishing the tour. I started at 5 o'clock and I only took an hour break. So it literally took me 4 hours to finish all the tours. And I didn't even do the women's one because...
Yeah, it takes me longer because I record them, so I got to be on my computer. But I just record the hell modes.
Yeah.
I got to record everything because otherwise I'm going to get something and then I'm going to have the tinfoil hat community that are going to grow conspiracies that I got shit from Scopely instead of earning it because I didn't record it. So I got to record everything so that I can be safe from answering that shit.
It's sad that we live in such a community. Well, we don't live.
Well, it's not just this. It's like there everything. Like I played a Star Trek game. It's pretty much a cut and paste of the Reddit on Champions. It's the same thing that go on. And I played other games, and it was like that as well. Supercard, yeah, it's from Scopely also. The Star Trek game I played, but I played Supercard. Is the same. Their Twitter is flaming as well. I mean, it's just gaming in general, and mobile game is even worse than game. Well, except the EA games, those are pretty nasty on PC too. But as far as mobile games, I mean, unless you're playing like even Candy Crush is quite crazy sometimes on the
Really?
Yeah. I went to check just because I was curious, and it was a bunch of blasphemy. So I mean, it's like that on everything.
I can't imagine it being like that for Candy
The
Crush.
internet and social media, keyboard warriors reigns. It's
all right. So now that we've cleared the air, nobody has any animosity toward each other. Nobody's trying to attack each other. Casey does not get his information from Scopely. He has no reps at Scopely. He's not presenting it as if the information came from Scopely. His information is his speculations.
educated guesses.
Educated guess. And they're very educated. He's not, he's a very bright man. He's not a stupid person. There are educated guesses. I think Casey is going to try to be a little more careful with his wording in the future, which is because just to avoid problems. So, Casey, we do thank you for joining us again. Thank you for everything you do for our country. It's been a pleasure speaking with you this evening. Anything you want to say to the community before we sign off?
Nothing too much. I hope everybody enjoys the events. Look forward to WrestleMania, and thank y'all guys for what y'all do as well.
And thank you, Casey.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so thank you for joining us on our Papa Cast. This is Big Papa and my co-host G. We hope to see you guys again real soon. Signing off. Peace out, guys.
See ya. G out.